Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Hey, 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 hey. Welcome back, y'all. It has been what feels like forever since I myself, Queen Unique, have done a podcast. So guess what? Spirit kept nudging and bugging and bugging and bugging me. And so here we are. I am back. I am back. I am happy to be back. I am excited to be back. I am ready to be back. And I am equipped to be back. Right? So, real quick, let me give you all an introduction. Thank you for coming in, for joining in. Grab your friends, grab a pen, grab a water, wine, click, share, tag this video because it's going to be informative tonight. It is going to be the start of something amazing. And we're going to journey our way through this journey. So, again, let me introduce myself. My name is Chantel Evans, aka Queen Unique. I am the mother. I am a sister. I am a friend. I am a lot of things, okay? I'm a grandmother, but most of all, y'all, I am the founder and the executive director of Unique Blessings nonprofit organization out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Our mission is to provide awareness and advocacy for survivors, victims, at risk youth, and families that have been affected by human trafficking, domestic violence, and sexual assault. And that is what we do. That is my passion. I do it endlessly, I do it unapologetically. And I just, at this point, feel like I was born to do this. So, part of our awareness is this what you see right here, like it's our podcast. We also do things out in the community. We do youth mentoring, workshops, speaking, and a host of other things. And for those who like to talk to me more, you can reach me at www.uniqueblessings.org, and we would love to talk to you and see how we can be a support or a service to you. So, real quick, y'all, not even real quick, we're going to probably be here for about maybe an hour tonight. We going to get in here, we're going to do what it is that we do, and we are going to bring awareness to this very serious subject, a topic that a lot of people don't talk about with understanding and respect. It is not an easy topic, and it is something that we have to be informed about. I guess, people that's chosen to talk about it, and most of our people that have been through it and went through it can talk about it if they care to share their testimony. Why did I choose to come back tonight? Or why did tonight choose me? I came back tonight because this is actually um, the anniversary, the 6 year anniversary of my daughter going missing or being introduced into human trafficking. On December the 3rd, she went missing 6 years ago from her local high school out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. But I chose to come back tonight, y'all, because my daughter did a thing. She did a thing, and I was so proud of her. And it's something that I've waited forever, actually, since this journey first started. I waited, I've anticipated. How would this go? Will she ever talk? Will she ever reclaim her strength and power? And most of all, will she ever tell her story? So before we get into the show tonight, I want to share her Facebook post that she actually posted today on the anniversary, the 6 year anniversary of the day that it is that she would go missing from high school. And then to the people that want to know, how is she doing? She is recovering well. She is safe now. She is a mother now, and she is making me proud every day by reclaiming her voice, showing strength, courage, and displaying a lot of wisdom for other victims and survivors that eventually would become wounded warriors, just like herself in this journey. She's also sending out prayers to the ones that have not. got out of human trafficking yet. And so am I. And so, really quick, y'all, let me share what she put and what kind of gave me some food fuel for the already fire that I have inside of me. I do this work endlessly, like I said, unapologetically, intentionally. I do some leadership stuff out here in Charlotte, and I am the voice. I am the voice for the voiceless. I am the voice for families and friends and people that are interested in supporting or on this journey that I speak of tonight. So, her Facebook post says, 6 years ago today, it all started. My life changed. The free hearted little girl who trusted all and never seen anything wrong, talkative, always smiling little girl left. Again, let me share that with y'all again. She says, 6 years ago, my life changed. The free hearted little girl who trusted all and never seen anything wrong, talkative, and always smiling. That is exactly who she was, you all, before this. Like, no matter where she went, nobody was a stranger. When she was in kindergarten, I could remember the teachers in the fifth grade knowing her. Actually, I gained friends because of her personality and how she viewed the world and so much love that she gave. And so her post goes on to say, the day my life changed as I was welcomed into the world of human trafficking. I have come a long way from being beaten to being locked in a room, not knowing if I would make it out, being forced into sexual pleasures, being broken down mentally. I came out on top to coming home, not being able to be around anyone without feeling scared, zoning out for hours at a time, sneaking food away from my mom just because I was starved and I didn't want to feel that again, flinching at everyone who lifted a finger around me. This is only a smudge of what I went through or when I came home. Even today, I still suffer from things that I may never be able to talk about. My heart goes out to the ones who are not as lucky as me, the ones who are still fighting for today. Every day is a fight. Every day is a fight. It's nothing you can heal from. It's forever something that haunts you, still something you think about every day. We have got to stop this. Hashtag let's stop human trafficking. Hashtag survival. Hashtag human trafficking awareness. Hashtag human trafficking survival. You all, this post made me so proud. For 6 years, I wondered, I waited, sometimes impatiently, sometimes with full of doubt, sometimes wanting to say that I would never see the day that she would reclaim her power. She would even post or talk about this. Today, today. 6 years ago today was one of the worst days of my life. I had two times that I remember the worst days of my life, and 6 years ago was one. Today is like one of the happiest days of my life for several reasons. One, I have a daughter that's still here on earth. Even when she was missing, the authorities told me that she was deceased. All praises go to the Most High God. All my thanks, all my gratitude goes to the Most High God. Um, and then to all of my earth angels that came and walked this journey with us while we were journeying, even though we're still there. I wanted to be obedient tonight and I wanted to do my part and continue to shed light. I know when I had this podcast before, when we were talking before, we had a bunch of hosts on. We were talking about different things. Never too much settled and talked about human trafficking or what that was because I wasn't ready at the time. I wasn't ready at the time. And most of all, I was still going through the personal journey, um, the ups, the downs, the roller coasters of what this life is composed of. Thanks for this experience that we now have a nonprofit organization, again, out here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where we provide prevention and some intervention for at-risk youth and families that are faced with this or related to the subject of human trafficking and domestic violence. Um, I had a lot of people ask me, what is it like? How did that happen? So tonight I'm just gonna kind of get into, what happened? How do a 14-year-old get involved into human trafficking, right? It wasn't a white van that came by and snatched my daughter. It wasn't she was walking down the street and was kidnapped. It was nothing like that. My daughter actually went to school on December the 3rd. Um, and that day she would not return home from the school bus. I got a phone call saying, "Hey, is Alonzia with you?" And I said, "No." And they said, "She didn't get off of the school bus." And I said, "What do you mean?" So we are not natives of North Carolina. So for me, this was urgent. This was something that needed to be looked at. So instantly I went to her school, seeing if she was there, and she wasn't there, right? She wasn't there. A mother's worst, or father's, or family, period, worst nightmare is to go somewhere and your child is nowhere to be found. Again, never in a million years did I think it would come up to the subject that we're talking about tonight. So she went to school again. Like I said, she wasn't there. She went missing from her local high school. And eventually, I would find out that she was a victim of human trafficking. Um, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know how that happened. I didn't know where to turn. And most of all, I didn't know where to look for my daughter. So um, I learned a lot during that time. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about, what resources were available, which is why our organization exists today. And we focus on the resources and bringing awareness um, to victims and families and survivors as well. So because of the things that I went through, I had no clue. But, y'all, but God had plans for us and we would recover her eventually. So again, she wasn't at school, and I will get into the whole story of, like what happened and, what happened on that day. Maybe some podcasts down. I'll save that. But I really wanted to get on here tonight to say that it is a journey and that human trafficking is real. It can happen to anybody. And let's talk about what the definition is, because I just kind of jump right in there. The definition of human trafficking is force, fraud, and coercion. And I teach the youth about that. I teach families about it and whomever else asks about it. What is it? How? Who does it? It can happen through anybody. How does it make you feel? Oh gosh. So for me, it was a slippery slope down as being a mother. And reading her post tonight, it gave me more insight on how she's feeling and how she's coping every day. Human trafficking is not something that goes away, just like she said in her post. It's not something that goes away. It's not something that can be erased. It is something that becomes a part of you. Every waking moment, you think about it. For me, one trigger was, so I had triggers. One trigger for me was every time I seen a school bus, I was triggered. I started to pay attention. I knew that anytime the summertime was around and school was out and I didn't see school buses, I felt fine. But whenever school came back in, I would go have a hard time. Um, so I just always stared at the school bus and wondered what child wouldn't get off today. Um, I Even now today, I'm an advocate for homeschooling your children and until the schools are proven to be safe. And I mean safe where if a child is not seen for 5 minutes, we get an alert. So still a lot of work to be done in that area. Prayerfully, it will be done sooner than later. But again, I wanted to come on here because this is the anniversary. I wanted to be obedient and I wanted to talk about how am I doing? How is she doing? A lot of people want to know. I didn't want to be selfish, but I also believe in waiting until the spirit gives me permission to move forward with any and everything, and especially something like this. She's grown now, and so I don't want to ever tell her story. I can only tell my story as being a mother. I can only tell my story as being a caretaker and a provider and someone who's walking the road with her. But what I feel and my experience is not her experience. Victims, survivors, and warriors, they have families, they have friends, and when they hurt, we hurt. When they heal, we heal. When they cry, we cry. When they laugh, we laugh. And human trafficking, it it flips your world upside down. It takes every part of you that you thought you knew. With us, this we I choose to be on the side of solutions rather on the side of problems. I choose to say, hey, okay, this happened to us, but now how can we make this happen for us? And most of all, how can I be a source of healing and light for my daughter and for her children and my family as a whole? How can I be a source of energy and information to the community? And what can I do? Because this did choose us and we did not choose it. What can I do to be supportive? And so, what I chose is to become the founder of Unique Blessings Nonprofit Organization. We chose to provide something that I wish was there when my family needed the support. I wish that I had someone to call to prevent this from happening. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. However, we survived long enough to where we could put what wasn't there now into the community. And I believe we are about 4 years strong with doing this work. And so, again, I wanted to come on this podcast. I wanted to be obedient. I didn't really have anything geared or dedicated that I would do tonight. But all day, the Spirit kept on saying, get in, get in, get in, get in. And I know I was sitting down, and the Spirit said to me, it said, um, a mother's journey would eventually become a daughter testimony. A mother's journey would become a daughter's testimony. So this journey that I take, it is now a testimony for the daughters and the sons that have been impacted by human trafficking. And so in December, on December the 3rd, 6 years ago, when my daughter went missing, I did not see this as being an outlet. I did not see us putting something here that would be a much need in the community. I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It had got so bad too. I said, you know what? I had to find the light while I'm in the tunnel because I might not make it to the end. Human trafficking gives you a spirit of suicide. It gives you a spirit of I want to quit. It gives you a spirit of feeling like you're invisible and nobody sees you, nobody hears you. No matter how many cameras are out, no matter how many media stories get put out there, human trafficking takes the life out of you. And most people don't make it back, you know. And I remember my daughter was in the hospital. I had several doctors tell me that she's a miracle story. Normally, when people go into the world of human trafficking, they do not make it back. So I know that this journey that we're on is destined for divinity. I know that this is not by accident. I know that she had to go through this so that somebody else could pull through. I know that I had to be a voice for a mother who thinks that her voice don't matter, for a father who thinks that his work wasn't good enough, for a grandmother who thinks that, you know, hey, where did I go wrong? For a brother who thinks that I wish I could have protected her. And a sister who asks herself, you know, why did this happen to my sister? And I can name all these characters because those are the people that surrounded me when my loved one was not here, when I was told that she was gone. I remember on December the 3rd, we didn't hear from her. December the 4th, still didn't hear from her. I remember on December the 6th, my phone ringing and the authorities telling me that my daughter was, they were going to treat her case as a homicide. That night, I dropped out all day. It played in my head that a homicide. Like, what do you mean? Like, we haven't found a body. Like, she can't be gone. And I began to question God. God, how could you do this? I'm not ready for this. I can't accept this. I mean, even if she's not alive, let me find her. I remember walking the streets, looking in trash cans, not being able to sleep, not being able to eat, going outside to dangerous places. At that time, I had no fear. It was just like the scripture says, yeah, I walk through the shadow and the valley of death, I should feel no evil. I didn't feel anything that was evil at that point. I like to say that today that I must have had the full armor of God on me and around me as I decided to go and do that search and hit those streets and put up flyers and refuse to take that she was unalive. I refused to accept that. Um, During about December, I think the 6th, I remember the end of that day, and I dropped to my knees after being so tired and worn and still not successful at her recovery. I remember dropping to my knees and just screaming and calling out to God and crying with tears running down my face, saying, God, how could you do this to me? Please, please bring her back. Please, Lord. I can't do it. And I promise, God, that if you bring her back, God, I swear, I promise you that I will use my voice. I would not be silent anymore. I would use my gift and I would go before you and I would do whatever it is that you said you wanted me to do. And I cried and I was on my knees. And as I cried and I was on my knees and I had surrendered, my phone rang. And when my phone rang, it was a police officer telling me to get to the children ER here in Charlotte as soon as possible because they had found her. They had found her. I didn't know what condition she was in. I didn't know if she was alive. I didn't know what I was going. I just remember jumping in my car, riding down to the hospital, and that's where it all started. That's where I would find out that my daughter was a victim of human trafficking. And that's our story, and that's the beginning. And I'm going to stop right there because I just wanted to come on here and be obedient. And I wanted to begin this process with my voice. I wanted to begin sharing the goodness of the Lord. I wanted to begin actually marching behind my daughter. Since she started, who am I to stop, right? So I'm going to be coming back with this podcast. I'm going to definitely come back and bring more awareness. I'm going to definitely come back and tell more about the story, about what happened once I got to the hospital, what that experience was like. But most of all, I wanted to come on here tonight to just kind of do a celebration and to rebirth the purpose process. I wanted to come on here to be a voice and most of all to give thanks to everyone who is an advocate, everyone who is doing work in the fields of releasing the chains of captivity, whether the chains are invisible or visible. I wanted to be a come on here just to let that mom know, that dad know, and that family know that you are not alone. I wanted to let you know that it is somebody here. I will be back. I will not stop this. And most of all, I am so grateful to hear my daughter's voice today. I am so grateful to be able to pick up that Facebook and click onto her page or be tagged in a post that she made telling me that, Mom, I'm starting. I'm starting today. And I am reclaiming my voice. I am giving victory. I am giving praise. And I'm about to take my shoes and I'm about to walk this thing out. So Again, y'all, please, please, please tap in, tune in, share, tag, join us. I will be coming back here. I'm thinking maybe on Sunday nights. That is a good night for me. Sunday nights at 7 p.m. And we're going to get into the meat of what human trafficking is. We're going to talk about healthy coping skills. We're going to talk about those challenging negative thoughts. We're going to do daily check ins and self cares. How did I breathe through this? How did I feel through this? I already started tonight with giving thanks, right? What am I grateful for? And I need you all to ask yourself that as well today, as you listen to this podcast. Ask yourself, what are you grateful for? And in some places it's nighttime. Ask yourself, wherever you are, what am I grateful for? And guess what? Give thanks to all things that you are grateful for, big, small, little. Seem like it don't matter to somebody else, but give thanks. We're gonna talk about, how do I feel? How am I doing? How are you doing? What can we do? Talk about wants. What do you want to accomplish? What do we want to accomplish as a village as it relates to human trafficking and domestic violence? What do we need to do that we're not doing enough of? I need you all to know that I do not plan to do this by myself. I need you all to know that even to bring my daughter home, even though I say I, it was a we, it was people that I didn't even know that was coming, bringing flyers and helping us tag them on posts, and so many people sharing her picture on Facebook and, other different media sites, and, getting the story out there. And these are the things that we need to bring our missing persons home. These are the things that we need. We need other people's voices when the family voices are not working. So I challenge you today that if you see something, say something. I challenge you to share this podcast. Start a conversation at home. Check in with your family. Check in with your loved ones. Make sure you continue to be vigilant. Look all around. The holidays are here. It's busy outside. People are going missing every day. And I challenge us to be that help that it is that we look for. Look within ourselves, and let's just begin this journey. Let's walk it out. And I promise you all that I will be back here. I will be tapping and tuning in. Let's say Sunday nights at 7 p.m. And sometimes Mondays. Let's tap in. Let's continue to have this conversation and see what happened when we got to the hospital. What condition was she in, right? Um, it's so much that happened after that day. Like I said, that is when the journey would eventually begin into the world of human trafficking. So I'm going to close us out with this. I'm not going to keep you guys long. I'm going to close us out with this and let you know that I am sending lots and lots and lots and lots of love light your way. I am sending healing energy your way. I am sending prayers your way. I am claiming victory for all that you are going through. And know that nothing is by accident. Know that you are worthy. Know that you can freely take the chains off. And know that you are not alone. And know that we are here for you. We are thinking of you. We are praying for you, just like that post that I shared that she said, we have to stop this. And so, again, my name is Chantel Evans, aka Queen Unique. I am the founder and the president of the founder and the executive director of Unique Blessings Nonprofit Organization. Um, Again, tap in. You can find us on YouTube mostly. You can follow us on social media to see some of the work that we're doing. If you use the hashtag Unique Blessings, if you go in, look on Facebook, Unique Blessings Nonprofit Organization. Please, please, please follow us, share, tag, and let's continue to save a life today. You see something, you say something, because guess what? Your voice matter, and your voice definitely can unlock the keys to captivity. I love you all. Have an amazing night, and thank you for tuning in to UB Podcast. I will see you all soon. Until then, please stay safe, stay vigilant, love on your families, and don't forget to have that conversation. And let's talk about what is human trafficking. I look forward to seeing you all next time. Peace.